Have you ever felt like you're playing by the rules, doing everything right and still getting left behind? You see people with half the talent flying past you, doors opening for them, opportunities landing on their lap, and you're stuck wondering, what am I missing? That question haunted me during my 20s, until I read The Third Door by Alex Banayan. When I first read it, I couldn't put it down. This isn't just another book on success. It's a lens that shows you the difference between people who wait for permission and people who build their own doors to the success they desire. And once you see the world in this way, you'll never unsee it. Because this right here might be the unlock you've been waiting for. And in this video, I'm going to share my 3 biggest takeaways from the book, with one of them being the most important lesson of all that most people overlook. Number 1, life, business, success. It's just like a nightclub. Alex shares this metaphor in the book that changed the way I understand success. He observes that there are 3 ways in. The first door is the main entrance, the one everyone knows, the safe, predictable path. It's where you follow the rules, tick all the boxes, get the degree, apply for the job, wait for the promotion, and hope someone eventually notices your effort. The line is long, it moves slowly, and many will never get to where they would like to be in life. The second door is the VIP entrance. That's for the privileged few, the people born into the right networks, wealth, or the kind of luck that feels unfair when you're on the outside looking in. They skip the line entirely. But what nobody tells you is that there is always a third door. Whether it's how Bill Gates sold his first piece of software, or how Steven Spielberg became the youngest studio director in Hollywood history. They all took the third door. It's not obvious. It's not advertised anywhere. And most people never even look for it. But it's there. And it's the path most successful people actually take. The one nobody really talks about. It's the entrance where you sneak in through the kitchen, crawl through a window, or climb up the fire escape, doing whatever it takes to get inside. It's the door that allows regular people like us to achieve extraordinary things by skipping the line, finding hidden opportunities, and thinking outside the box. Alex argues that it's the best and really only route to getting ahead of the crowd. Take Spielberg. He boarded a tour bus at Universal Studios Hollywood, rode around the lot, and then jumped off, sneaking into a bathroom and disappearing behind the building. He watched the tour bus drive away, then spent the rest of the day on the Universal lot, approaching Hollywood stars and studio executives. And once you understand that a third door always exists, you stop waiting for permission and start creating opportunities. You begin to see that the biggest difference between the 99% and the 1% is that the 1% stopped waiting in line and got to work in becoming a magnet for luck. Number 2, be persistent and don't give up too easily. When Alex was 18, he was broke, lost, and unsure about what to do with his life. But instead of following the traditional path, he asked a question most of us never stop to ask. What do the world's most successful people do at the start of their journey? Not when they're already on the cover of Forbes or after their TED Talk, but before the world knew their name. He couldn't find a real answer, so he did something radical. He hacked his way onto the Price is Right game show, won a sailboat, sold it, and used the money to fund a mission, to track down icons like Bill Gates, Lady Gaga, Steven Spielberg, Maya Angelou, and Warren Buffett, and asked them himself. He had no connections, no resume, and no platform. Just a laptop, a suit that didn't quite fit, and a relentless belief that there had to be a way in. He didn't wait to be picked. He picked himself. And slowly, those doors began to open. When he wanted to meet Bill Gates, he didn't just send one email to his assistant and leave it at that. He studied the assistant's communication style, learned what was important to them, understood their world, and then found a creative back door to speak to them in person. And it worked. Every success story he uncovered had the same DNA. The people who broke through weren't necessarily the smartest. They were just unreasonably persistent. They kept trying doors until one opened, until they found that third door. Most people, however, never find it. Not because it doesn't exist, but because they stop knocking after the first rejection. They think no means never. They mistake resistance for a dead end, when often it's just the universe asking, how badly do you really want this? We live in a world where patience is disappearing. We post one video, don't go viral and give up. We apply for one dream job, don't hear back and stop trying. We send one message, get no reply, and assume we're not worthy. Truth is, getting ahead of 99% of people isn't about being smarter. It's about staying in the game longer. When I started my speaking career, I didn't know anyone in the industry. No one was inviting me onto stages, and I wasn't being featured on podcasts. And I could have easily believed the story that success only happens if you're already connected. But instead, I worked on building my own door. I reached out to small organizations, communities, and conferences. I offered to speak for free, sometimes to just 10 people. I recorded every talk, captured content to share on social media, learned from each one, and slowly began improving. Each yes opened another door, and each rejection taught me how to reframe my approach. And eventually, people wanted to pay me thousands of dollars to speak at their events. And honestly, looking back, every big opportunity in my life came from what initially looked like a dead end. That's what the third door teaches you, that every rejection isn't a wall, it's a mirror. It reflects back how much you really want what you're chasing. So if you're watching this and you've been waiting for a sign to start, this is it. Start before you're ready. Reach out before you feel qualified. Create before anyone asks you to, because momentum doesn't come from waiting, it comes from movement. Here's the fascinating part. Your brain has a built-in filter called the reticular activating system, the part that decides what information you notice. If you believe there's no opportunity, your brain literally filters out potential ones. But if you start telling yourself there's always another door, your mind begins searching for it. There's a hard truth behind the stories that Alex shares throughout the book that many people never want to hear. Most people don't stay stuck because they lack talent. They stay stuck because they never challenged the script. We've been conditioned since childhood to wait for permission, to sit quietly, to follow instructions and to avoid risk. But the people who get ahead rewrite the rules. They find an alternative route and bet on themselves when no one else will. The third door asks, are you willing to try something different? Because if you are, you might just find a path most people will never see. Number 3, no one succeeds alone. There's one part of the third door that most people overlook, and it might just be the most important lesson of all. Even when you find the third door, you rarely walk through it alone. Alex learned this when he was chasing interviews with impossible to reach people. He couldn't just cold email Bill Gates or Lady Gaga. He needed an inside man, someone already on the inside who believed in his mission and could help open the door from within. The inside man might be a mentor, a friend, a champion, someone who vouches for you when no one else will, and uses their position, connections, or influence to help you move faster towards your dreams. And here's the key insight. To find your inside man, you first have to be one. The people who get ahead aren't just climbing, they're connecting. They build relationships not as transactions, but as partnerships. If you want someone to believe in you, give them a reason to. Show up as a person of value. Ask, how can I help? Before asking, can you help me? In my own journey, every meaningful leap happened because of someone who opened a door for me. And often that connection started from being a person of value and helping them first. It's how I got the likes of Simon Sinek and Marie Forleo to endorse my book Energize, by having someone on the inside that could help. Simon's head of learning shared my work with him, and Marie's hairstylist championed my cause to her, and that I would be someone worth backing. It's also how I got to headline a festival for entrepreneurs on stage with Simon Squibb, and how I got to connect with people that I'm inspired by who are at the top of their game. It's not about networking, it's about relationship building. Because when you nurture the right relationships, you multiply your doors. And it's important to keep this in mind. People don't buy your ideas, products, or services as much as they buy your energy. When you have a compelling dream or story, together with contagious energy, anything becomes possible. We often think of success as a solo journey, but the truth is the right person at the right time can change everything. So let me ask you this. Where in your life are you standing in line like 99% of people? Where are you waiting for someone else to say, you're ready? What if you stopped waiting and started building your third door? Because ready isn't a feeling, it's a decision. Most people drift through life allowing their lives to simply happen to them. Days turn into months, months turn into years, and one morning they wake up wondering how so much of life passed without them really living it. If you don't consciously design your life, someone else will do it for you. Your schedule will be filled with other people's priorities. Your dreams will be replaced by other people's expectations, and your potential will be buried under the weight of comfort and fear. Most people don't need more time. They need less distractions. They need to stop letting life just happen and start shaping it with courage. The message here is this: don't be most people. Take ownership of your life and live each day with intention. Because when you do what most won't, you'll make greater progress than 99% of people. So send that email. Find ways that you can add value to others. Ask for that introduction. Chase that dream and do things that 99% of people won't even dare try. And when one door closes, don't give up. Find someone who can open another. Because while no one makes it alone, no one makes it by waiting either. Everything you want, your dream career, the next level, your breakthrough or the relationship, lives on the other side of discomfort. And the third door will always exist if you're willing to look for it. Because the 1% who get ahead in life don't wait in line. They find the third door. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you have read The Third Door, I'd love to hear your thoughts about the book in the comments below. I also suggest checking out this video next to help you in building some exciting momentum towards your dreams and goals in life. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.